just give it a few minutes for somebody to join. As long as I've got 1 or 2 people watching, I'll perhaps do the draw. I should have announced it in advance really, because I'm probably going to get nobody joining. Especially because the 27th is kind of like a work day as well. Oh, we've got some joiners. Let's have a look. See who's joined the stream. Hello. Merry Christmas to you as well, Cheetah. Had a good one, mate. Yeah, it's been good. Been good Christmas, really. All things considered. A few months ago, I didn't think it was going to be such a good Christmas, but yeah, things have worked out really well. I'm sorry it's took me so long to get around to announcing the winner of the TF330. But you know what it's like. That video I put up, I don't know whether any of you saw it. I was in a bad way when I got the news about my job and stuff, and I didn't see any options at the time. I was in a very bad place. So trying to follow on from that with the the live draw of the TF330 was extremely well. It was for me anyway. It was an extremely difficult thing to to do. I had to get myself into a slightly more positive place. So I'll try and catch up with the comments as I'm going along here. I've got the chat window up, as I've got the desktop up there as well for the Amiga. Let's just start something up on the Amiga. Tell me if the volume of the games is a little bit too loud. Let's just start that. I've got a bit of latency here, so it's quite fiddly trying to move the mouse around. As I move the mouse, like I'll tell you, I'll move it right and then move it down. It keeps going right for about half a second. The latency is terrible. Surprise live stream, Eric heard. Yes it is. I might do some more because I'm off now till I don't know, the week after next, I think. The office I work at is shut. I mean, I work from home still, but I've got a 2-day-a-week job, which is it sounds like it's a bad thing because it's only 2 days a week, but I'm just about managing with that. So it's like it's paying all my bills. That's the important bit. Pays the bills, pays the mortgage, pays for food and stuff. So I'm in a good place really, because the other 3 days a week I can be focusing on doing videos and things. And I'll be honest, for the last month I've spent so much of my spare time doing videos. This Amiga 4000 you can see here. Let's just start Alien Breed Special Edition. This Amiga 4000 here, I've spent considerable hours on. Like I was working out something like 40 or 50 hours or something in total. It's insane the amount of time this 4000 has sucked up. Dave Curran, hi, happy Christmas, midway between Christmas and New Year. Yeah. Joseph Neal, hi Joseph. I always see your comments on my videos. You're always first to say something generally. John Perry, Merry Christmas. Andy Mason, hi mate, Merry Christmas Gadget. Thanks everybody for the well wishes for Christmas and stuff. Average Retro Gamers, is it working now then? Yes it is. This is it working, I think. Let's just load a special edition of Alien Breed. You have to bear with me, I'm obviously a bit nervous. It's like I say, it takes a lot out of you doing a live stream, and I had to get myself in a slightly better position, as I say, before I got around to doing this. The other thing that may happen is we may get a crash, I don't know, because I still haven't been able to change my PC since I did those last few streams. But the good news is, with the little bit of redundancy money I've got left, I've got enough budget to consider changing my PC over the next few months. I need to save for another month or two, I think, ideally. But I should be able to change my PC and get some more streams and things done. Just let me know if that's too loud or too quiet. Can you hear me okay over that? I'll just catch up with 1 or 2 more messages here. Let's just go back a bit. Just lurking. Hi mate, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas mate. Ahoy mate. It's working now then, yes it is. Hello, hi bud, hello buddy, hi Beeps, Pizza, Mulholland, hello Mr Gadget, first time I see you do a live stream. Yeah, it's not the sort of thing that I'm that comfortable with, you know, it takes, you've got to have a lot of bottles to do live streams, I think, and generally, it's not the sort of thing I would do, but, and again, the other problem with live streams for me, people are probably expecting to see live stream repairs rather than testing things and a bit of gameplay and stuff. So it's a bit different. Hope you can bear with me if it's not the sort of thing you're looking looking for really, but we could have a bit of a chat, can answer some questions perhaps, and then we'll get on with the live draw. It's a live stream, we're doing a live stream. Glad to hear you're slightly more financially stable. Yes, it's like I say, I'm not loaded, I'm certainly not, because obviously I'm only working 2 days a week, so proportionally it's not a massive salary, but it's enough to keep me going, and that's the main thing. You can pay your bills and you're happy. And you know what, when I can do repairs like this and do YouTube, I'm happy. That is my main thing in life really, it just keeps me going. Catch it, what's your name bro? Chris. Dave's Game Room, hi. The main man, thanks Dave, I do enjoy watching your videos. You should check out Dave's videos, he does Saturn stuff, and I think he did one on Saturn recently, repair, replacement power supply. ZX Renew, afternoon all, Thomas Andrews, ship quick is too expensive. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. The one thing I would say about that is, previously I was just buying it off eBay. You know what it's like, you get lazy and you go, where's the easiest place? I'll look on eBay. Well, if you try and buy it off eBay, it's like, I don't know, 20 quid-ish, might be a bit more. But if you go to RS Online or Farnell, I think RS Online is the last place I used. It was something like, I don't know, £12 for 5 tubes, which is really good actually. It's not bad. And if you add other things onto your order, obviously postage ends up either being free or super cheap. Martino, hi to all, hi. Would you like to be at Pepper too? Yes, it's amazing. James 76, I'm at work and can't watch, but hi anyway. Hi James, we'll see your comments. I'll be pointing out a few things to me. Fonzie, I need help with my 500. Can I build a terrible fireboard? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. If you want an accelerator board, incidentally, I'm drinking out of a terrible fire mug, no wooden mug, will do. It's huge, this mug, it's ginormous. You've got to put like twice the amount of tea in there, twice the amount of sugar if you take sugar, I don't take sugar, and twice the amount of milk. Yeah, terrible fire. For the 500, I would recommend, and I haven't done the video on this yet, but I'd recommend the TF330. I'll try and get the video up over the next week for that, because it's something I've been meaning to finish editing for a while. I got mine from the 8-Bit Dreams, actually, a fantastic German guy who manufactures some of the terrible fireboards. And he kindly sent me a board, actually. I think it was one of the initial batch that Stephen had sent to him. So yeah, I'll show you that in an upcoming video, but the TF534 provides an 030, an FPU, 4 meg of Zorro 3 RAM, and obviously a compact flash interface. It's really nice. The RAM's kind of, for some people, might be a little bit inadequate, 4 meg. 8 meg is kind of a nice to have minimum really with WH0, but you know 4 meg will cover most games actually, most of the old games work fine with 4 meg. And you can do what I've done, again I'm talking about things you're going to see on future videos. On my 2000 I've added in an extra 8 meg of Zorro 2 RAM. Now the downside with that is if you've got as you do with the 534, a Zorro 3 RAM, you know, ZIP 3 RAM, you slow the system down if you're adding Zorro 2. You know, your CPU, when it's running at, I think mine's running at 50 on TF534, when it has to access that Zorro 2 RAM, it slows down, so yeah, that's something to bear in mind. But nevertheless, anyway, the TF534 is a nice terrible fire accelerator board to add into a 500 for sure. Let's see if we can catch up a little bit. Gadget game music is 24 decibels too loud, it's equally loud to your voice, okay? Let me see if we can adjust that. Yeah, I think that should be down a little bit. Just let me know if that's any better, please. Turn the music down, the music's too loud, oh god! Yeah, agree with the others, mix the Amiga down and you up a bit. He's not reading. Yeah, I am reading, it's just, yeah, I get sidetracked to start talking about a particular thing someone's asked me. Wow, that's some nice price for the stuff. Nice price for the stuff. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. It's like listen to War of the Worlds. Well, music is good, just loud. Okay, scroll down a bit. How does Toxic D10 Nano compare to Vampire? Anyone know? Question from Steve Mann. From what I understand, the D10 Nano, I'm reluctant to use the word emulation. The performance of it, you know, how it behaves compared to Amiga is exceptionally well, from what I understand. There might be a few teething issues with various aspects of it, but from what I understand, it's very good. It's an interesting conversation point though, comparing it to Vampire, because There's some people, purists, who think that the Vampire is more of, what's the word, it's taken over a little bit too much of the Amiga. And I kind of see the point to a degree, because all you're using in your Amiga when you've got a Vampire in there is kind of like maybe the main memory, chip memory, Paula, and the keyboard interface and stuff, the I/O there. Not a lot else really. Most of the rest of the system is handled by the Vampire. Music down more, please. Okay, let's try that. How's that? It's difficult. I did try and record a little bit of the stream first and try and get the volume level right, but it's maybe I'm talking quieter now than I was when I was testing before. Music down, both FPGA solutions. Yeah, Vasilios, I can't say your surname, I'm sorry. Said both FPGA solutions. Yeah, they both are. The only difference is obviously the Vampire is doing slightly less than the D10 Nano. The D10 Nano is obviously doing everything. It's an entire system, right down to the video DAC and everything. Anyway, that's worked obviously. Let's just come out of that, and I want to load June, because that was. In fact, I need to power cycle it. I want to load June because if you saw part 1 of the 4000 repair there, you'll notice it was really twangy. So update the music. Yeah, music is perfect now. Audio is now perfect. Thank you guys. Hi Bockers, Bockers retro stuff. He's recently done quite a bit of work to a Mega Drive. It's worth checking that out actually on his channel. Mike Simcox, what did you get for Christmas, Chris? Good question. Not a massive amount, as you can imagine, because money's been short, obviously, so it's been a super cheap year. My wife said to me, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, nothing. Nothing. So I literally got nothing. I got, oh, thank you very much for that donation, Red Liquid one, in Polish, is it zloty? I can't remember what the currency is there. But yeah, very much appreciated. Greetings from Poland, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I sidetracked myself there. Yeah, so I asked for no presents and I got very little. I got a couple of pairs of jogging pants because I tend to bum around. You might have known that I don't get out a lot, so I bum around in the house an awful lot. So my jogging pants that I was wearing in the house just get worn down, the knees get worn down, and I'm one of these people that just never throw anything away. I just keep wearing things until you'll have seen that on my soldering irons on my channel. That they wear and wear and wear, and you're probably screaming at the camera. You need to throw that tip away and buy a new tip. And yeah, I've got to stop myself from doing that with clothes. So yeah, I've been throwing things out and got a few new bits of clothes for Christmas. The nice thing is, I've not shown it yet, I'll do a separate video on it. The company I got made redundant from, much to my surprise, because I was, as you can imagine if you saw the video I did, I was really peed off about the way the whole thing was handled. It was, if you ask my honest opinion, and I can say a little bit more about things now after having gone through the process. Speaking to people who are still in that company, I would have a case in court, I'm sure, to say it was unfair dismissal. What looks to have happened is they decided they wanted to get rid of me because I'm home-based. They couldn't really fit me into the current way of working, if you like. And it was just easier just to put the two developers up for redundancy. And the other one was literally given a job. It was like, you don't worry about it, you're going to have this job, you're going to sit on the same desk, you're going to sit in the same team, and that's what's ended up happening. He's ended up just staying in his same role. His job title's changed, doing exactly the same thing. So, it's unfair, but you know what? I am happy. I'm happy because things have worked out really well for me. A friend of mine, as I say, contacted me a day after that video actually, and just out of the blue. I've known the guy for about 15 years. And he said, Chris, don't worry about it. He says, I'll give you a job now. It can only be 2 days a week. Can't be a massive amount of money, but it should help you out. And I was like, oh God, that's a lifesaver. Fantastic. Can't thank you enough. So obviously I've been working from home ever since, working for my friend Simon. And it's just brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's like the best job I've ever had. It's like I said, the money doesn't pay that well, but it's paying the bills. The main thing is I am so much happier than I was before. I've got flexibility to do my videos and things around that work as well. That was the first thing he said to me. He said, Chris, look, I'm not going to have masses of work for you, but what I can offer you is going to be really interesting, challenging work. He's got a business that he's been building up for the last 15 years. And it's a long story. I met him 15 years ago, just as he was setting up the business. And he said to me, we bought the house off him actually. This house was his house. I purchased this house from him. And when we did that, he turned around and said, "Oh, you work in software development? I'm going self-employed at the moment, I'm about to set up a recruitment agency. You couldn't write me some software in your spare time, just like a few hours here and there over a few months?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, all right then. I've got no problems with that." It was kind of like a part of the deal of buying the house kind of thing. So that's how things happened. I spent a few months just in my spare time. This was well before YouTube. Obviously, it was back in, I don't know, 2002, 2003, something like that. And wrote him some software, an entire recruitment handling system. You know, everything to do with recruitment, to do with candidates and contacts and companies. You know, everything. You could search on postcode. I did some really fancy. This is this crazy thing. The stuff I did in my spare time was way more interesting and way more useful than the stuff I was doing for the big blue chip company I was working for. They were not utilising my skills. They weren't utilising my skills. So, like one of the functions for Simon's system, you can search for any keywords through an entire database of 300,000 CVs, and it comes back like in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. It's searched the whole lot, the CVs on keywords, comes back with the results. You know, here's your 50 candidates that have got exactly the right criteria. Hi, Lynn Millward. Thank you. Keep up the good work, Lynn and Graham. Cheers, very, very much. Sorry if I'm lagging behind on the comments here. It's difficult to try and keep up, and obviously I'm rambling as usual. I'll just launch another game. I'll show you June, because that's what I was going to do before I got sidetracked. But anyway, long story short, after doing that for Simon, he contacted me out of the blue after a long time of not speaking to him, and it was literally, it's just a coincidence. You know, I said I believe in fate. It was like a day after I did the stream. He turned around and said, "Look, I can give you a job. Don't worry about it." And he gave me the option. He says, "What do you want to do? You can be self-employed and put invoices into my company, or you can be on the books." And I said, "Well, actually, I'd rather be on the books, just because it simplifies things for the moment." So yeah, I've got to thank Simon. He's been a lifesaver, but also my patrons. My patrons have meant that my channel has been able to keep going. So I've got the best of both worlds. My patrons have been helping keep the YouTube side going, and Simon's been helping my life keep going. And with a bit of redundancy money I had, I've been able to reduce, pay my debts off, if you like, kind of thing. And as I say, it's just left a little bit to hopefully change my PC if I save for a couple of months. So that's the plan. Hopefully this will not crash. If it does crash, I will be back. You will need to bear with me. So I'll just even catch up, see if I miss any messages. I don't know if you can hear that because it's quite quiet, that music. But the twanginess has gone. I'll turn it down again in a minute. Thank you for the donation there as well, whoever just did that. I missed that. I'm so focused on waffle. Two more. Oh, good God, I can't keep up. James 76, thank you for the donation. Let's scroll back a bit. I'm sure I'm just, yeah, I've got the one from Poland. That's very, very much appreciated. DJ Legion, thank you very, very much. DJ Legion does the MVS mods and things. I did a video on the memory card there for the MVS. It's like an adapter he's got that allows you to plug in one of the original. It's like a replica of the original PCMCIA, card interface there for MVSs. But he's gone beyond that, and I've got another one I need to show you as well. One that allows you to save into NVRAM. It's a little NVRAM module that just plugs in there, so you don't even need cards. So I'm sorry if the volume of the music is not very loud there, but hopefully you can tell there's no twanginess. The wind sound was there at the beginning, although you perhaps couldn't hear it because it's quite quiet, that music, compared to the last game we were looking at. So I'll just catch up a little bit here. Peter Mulholland, the software development industry sucks arse now. Yes, I'm tempted to agree with that. I think the big problem is there's so many now. There's so many software engineers out there. There's so much different software. A lot of it's hard to innovate as well. That's the other thing. It's hard to innovate. It's hard to compete. You'll know what it's like if you get. I've had loads of great ideas over the years. I think, oh, I know, I've got a fantastic idea. It's never been done. A bit of software, and then you go and search for it. And actually, there's 20 out there already. 20 people have done exactly the same thing you've done. So it's very hard to be innovative. But companies really annoy me. Big blue chip companies. I mean, they're not all going to be like this. You can't just cast the same aspersion over everything. But some of these blue chip companies I've worked for, what tends to happen is, you get, what's the word? You're not valued. You're given specific things to do. We want you to do this, this, and this. They don't care what you could do, where you could add real significant financial value to that organisation. You know, the stuff that the company I was working for had me doing with mobile apps, with Xamarin, you know, C#, and myself and the guy I was working with, we developed an entire audit system. So it's a mobile app. I'm trying to think if there's a competitive product out there. Pronto Forms. If you know anything about the industry, you'll know about Pronto Forms. It was basically a competitor to Pronto Forms, and it did so much more than Pronto Forms. And we threw it together in about 3 months with a totally configurable, dynamic way that you could actually create the forms and the data behind it. It was just amazing. It made Pronto Forms look terrible. It really did. And they were just like, no, we don't want you guys to do this anymore. We're just going to spend a couple of £1 million a year on Pronto Forms licenses. And we were like, hang on a minute. Why would you spend a couple of £1 million globally for all the different regions on something that we've got in-house that's free, that's better, that we can actually tailor it and improve it further? No, there you go. Made me redundant at the end of the day. They would rather just not do in-house software development, and that's the thing. This particular organisation has decided that it's easier and safer and preferable to just buy off the shelf, even if it costs you more money. They think in the long term it's going to save them money. So it's just a sad sign of the way things are. It's a bit similar with you know, call centres. You know, we had lots of call centres in this country, and gradually, one by one, some of those have been outsourced to other regions and things where it's cheaper in terms of labour, which I disagree with. You know, I disagree with you taking advantage. All right, it's fine for countries that have got you know, less money, but it's, you know, it puts people out of jobs. I mean, it's the same sort of thing, and you may not agree with me on this, but it's the same sort of thing with supermarkets. When I go to Asda and the tills are all full, I'll queue up at one of those full tills where there's a person, a young lad or a young woman or something on the till, rather than go to the ones where you self-serve, because I've seen what's happening. And my wife fell out with me about this. She's like, why do you do that? You waste so much time. And I'm like, well, because it puts people out of jobs. I disagree with it. I disagree with this whole self-serve thing. You know, before we know it, you're going to go to a supermarket, there's going to be one person, the security guard, watching you like a hawk, and computer systems are going to be connected to the monitors, watching every till to identify whether you've not scanned something, and there'll be there'll be no cashiers on the tills. They probably have robots putting the cans on the shelves, which, you know, great for profit, not good for people. Anyway, that's sorry, rambling on about nothing here. So let's have a look. Got to tell you, that video I made a while back up made me feel less alone and less hopeless. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm embarrassed about the video. I've never had to do anything like that in my life, and it is embarrassing to put myself publicly in the position that I did. But as you could imagine, you know, it wasn't a bad way. I was after help, really. It was a cry for help more than anything. Starlight and sysadmin and recruiters keep asking me to do programming for some reason. Pete Mulholland, my problem these days is nowadays software dev is managed by managers. Yeah, that's right, not programmers. Yeah, there's too many management tiers in between in these IT organisations these days as well. I'm gonna have to skip some of these messages because I can't keep up. I've just left a blue chip for a small one for the same reason. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Sometimes being nearer to home and working for a smaller company, you can be a lot happier. You might have less money, but it could be the best thing you ever did. Having more time to yourself and being less stressed is better than having more money, for sure. Steve Mann, if anyone's using an 8220 CGA to VGA converter video out on Amiga, there's a smaller available for 12 quid, but it suffers from faint vertical lines, just flagging the issue. That's interesting. I might be interested to look at that. Let's just come out of June if we can. Actually, I think I press key press there to quit out of that. The interesting thing is I could still hear the music there for a minute. That was a bit weird. Let's close that down. And we'll just pop something else up. I'm not going to do much testing here, but you can see from the tests I've done there, Aladdin was the other one, let's do that. You can see from the audio perspective it's okay. I mean, stability wise, it's hang on, clicking on the wrong thing here. It's been running rock solid for half an hour now without a problem, but obviously I've had it on all day. It's been on all day today as I've been testing various things. I'd like to tell you what the final issue was, but it'll kind of spoil the next video. I'm hoping part 2 should go up for Patreons tomorrow. There might be part 3, I don't know. Part 2 might be quite long if I don't split it into 3 parts. We'll soon find out. I'm trying to see where Aladdin is now. It's going to be the page before, isn't it? I can't click properly. Hang on, there we go. There we go, Aladdin AGA. Yeah, the intro music on this, the part where you get the singing from the guy, it was, I didn't record it, but it was like broken up, whereas now that's not happening. Let's show that. Yeah, coming back to software development again, something I'll offer to my patrons actually for free. I told you I had lots of ideas over the years about writing software for various things. I don't know if you can hear that, that's super quiet, that music. Let me see if I can just adjust it a bit. Because there isn't much music there, it's not like overbearing music. Yeah, so a bit of software that I'll open up to my patrons, I might do it tonight. It's a disk cataloguing system that I wrote with a friend, Stuart. His nickname's Renzo UK. I met him actually, funny story, playing Quake 3 many years ago, and we've been good friends ever since. I've not kept in touch with him much over the last few years, but he does always keep in touch, and in fact he sent me a Christmas card I feel super guilty about because I didn't get a chance to send him one. Can you hear the singing there? Perfect. So that disk cataloguing system, I'll stick it as a free upload, so my patrons, you can download it and use it however you want really. The way it works is I'll perhaps show it, I'll do a video at some point on the channel, but you stick a CD in the drive and it scans the drive looking at the, I don't know, the serial number, the date and time when it was created. So it creates like basically a unique ID, a GUID, that's unique to that CD. And then it allows you to add it into your catalogue, and it scans the disk. If you want it to scan the disk, it gives you the option. It scans all the files and folders and stores it in a database. And you can then give it a name, stick a number, it gives you a number automatically, sequential number, and you can write a number on that disk and stick it in a big spindle. I'll show you. Something like that. So you can have piles of these with, you know, hundreds and hundreds of disks with a number on each one, and you know exactly what you've got on it. So for me, for the amount of software development I've done over the years, and home videos and things like that, I've got so many CDs. Can I try to keep track of where something is, which box it's in, which room that box is in, or which cupboard that box is in. Right down to individual files, you know, like for an emulator, for example, I could go looking for a main ROM and think, I'm sure I used to have that main ROM, where is it? And I can search on a file name, it'll search the entire catalogue of all my disks and go, oh, it's on disk 274 in box 3 in the cupboard in the back room, and I can just go and find it. So anyway, I'll put that there free. It's not perfect, it isn't perfect, but to my knowledge there are no bugs in it. It's just a bit quirky the way some of the search things work. You'll see what I mean if you use it. But that'll be there free from the Patrons, and I might just make that public to everybody a bit later on, but I'll perhaps do a video before I do that. So, where else have we gone? What else have we got here? Comments wise, try Apidia, Chris, music for that's awesome. Okay, we'll do that. So you can see that works though, sounds alright. I might need to lower the volume a little bit again in a second. Soon find out. Hang on. I was in the right folder then, wasn't I? I was in the A's. It's that time of the day where I start getting tired. I haven't had my tea yet either. Right, let's do a sort. I'm sorry if I'm missing messages here, by the way. Please just post it again if it's super important, because I've said it on every live stream, I can't keep up. Apidia, where are we? AL. The latency on this capture thing I'm using is awful. It's one of those cheap, you know, HD to RGB or RGB to HD things, and they're just terrible for things like this. You get like a 2-second latency or something. There it is. Peter Mulholland, it or turns 100 nanofarad ceramic into a resistor. It's funny, without giving too much away, that is one of the issues that was wrong with this 4000. A capacitor had changed into a resistor, a ceramic one. And I'm kind of giving it away, but I'm going to echo the same points that I made in that video. You're not seeing that part 2. It follows on from Chucky's comments that, you know, he's one of these people that says disagrees with putting ceramics and tantalums in place of the electrolytics. I'll just turn that down because I can tell that's a little bit loud. There we go. Probably still a bit too loud. Yeah, so, you know, you put ceramics in place of electrolytics, your through holes, wet types. Ceramics can short, and that's exactly what happened to this 4000. It had a shorted ceramic capacitor. And of course the same thing happens with tantalums. When tantalums fail, they either blast the top off or they short and take a rail down completely. So technically there's nothing wrong with it, you know, having tantalums in there, they're just as good, if not better, than electrolytics, but they can short, so that's something to consider. Hello, and I hope you had a great Christmas. Thank you, Els Puddy. Yeah, Peter Mulholland, yeah, recrapping using ceramics. That comment made me laugh, seriously. I think Peter was the one that said, Chucky would have said it's classed as recrapping, not recapping, when they use ceramics and tantalums. Michael Taylor, yeah, tantalums fail badly. They certainly do. So I've got the joystick here. I'm not going to be able to play this. I am going to give it a try, but I kid you not, the latency is about 2 seconds at the moment. It starts off, the latency is only about half a second, but I think with this PC not really being up to the job, it kind of gets slower and slower. You know, the latency seems to stretch. So after I've been doing a video like this for a minute or two, the latency is almost unplayable. You know, you can't play it, it's unplayable. It's out by a couple of seconds there, and this game's super hard. Error 42, hope you're doing good. Yes, thank you very much. I am, thank you. Hope you're alright. I'm trying to move the little bits here because the B's just going to keep moving afterwards, so I'm just moving little bits I can sort of correct and see where I'm at. It's going to look very juddery. It's one way to try and get around the latency though. I talked to Chucky often on Facebook. Comment from Peter. This game rules, but it's damn hard. Yeah, there you go. I looked away for a split second and I'm dead. I've got no chance of playing that with latency. None whatsoever. Let's come out, try and find something else. We'll do the live, you know, the draw in a minute for the TF330. Just have a quick scan back. Please post a comment down below of an idea for someone we could try. Apart from Batman the movie, I tried that. That doesn't work on here, and I'm guessing it's some sort of incompatibility with the WHD load slave driver that's on here at the moment on this compact flash card, and the 060. I'm guessing if I update the slave driver, it would probably be okay. Beeps, did you sell all the Archimedes, mate? No, I didn't. I haven't sold one yet. There's a reason for that. I've got 4 of them waiting to go, effectively. But Zarkos was kindly going to send some. I think he picked up from a computer show when he came to Cambridge in the UK, to the Acorn show there. He picked up a couple of Podule memory, you know, not Podule, yeah, IDE Podule adapters that you can stick in a 3000 or a 3010. And he's got some RAM modules as well for some of those machines. So we figured that it would be better for him to set, once those arrive, you know, he's got them dead cheap. I think he only paid something like £20 for the hard disk modules. So if I can upgrade them with a hard disk module, then it's going to increase their value slightly and make them more sellable for some, you know, for people looking for systems and things. Just looking back at the comments. I can't possibly respond to everything, but I am just looking to see if there's anything key or a question. Frontier, okay, yeah, that's a good idea actually, since it's an 060. And Doom as well. Let's try Doom. Let's do Frontier first. £20 for IDE modules. That's robbery. Redraw, so Even just using the mouse on the desktop here, the latency is terrible. There we are, Frontier. But I think things should improve when I get a new PC. It's going to be a few months though yet, I think. Hopefully just before April. Yeah, A-Doom. I think A-Doom's on there, right? A version of Doom is. Dave's Game Room, I remember Arm Lock, which they used to lock them down. Yeah, was that to do with the Archimedes, you mean, Arm Lock? Or are you talking about some software called Arm Lock? Peter Mulholland, I'm going to volunteer at the Centre for Computing History in Cambridge. Hopefully, that's really good. I offered that actually, I sent them an email and they never got a reply. They obviously see my videos and go, oh, we're not having him on board, he's too dodgy or something, you know, doesn't do as clean job as we would do or something like that, I don't know. To be fair, they probably get lots of emails from people offering to help out with things. That's where my Archimedes came from actually, the Computing History Museum there in Cambridge. At 4040, that's where that one came from. So I guess the other thing to mention is, and I mentioned it in part one, the board that's in here, the CPU board, that was created by Chucky actually. He was the one who recreated the CPU board for these. I'm not sure whether you can just stick a 68040 in there, or whether it's got to have an 060. Question from Mel's Puddy, does Quake run on 060? It does, but you need an FPU. This processor does not have an FPU, sadly. It took me a few minutes to work it out, but if you try to launch it, it just crashes straight away as soon as you launch it. Had me a bit concerned, thinking there was an issue with the system, but I read the the FAQ, the README file that came with it. That's a Quake port, and it says it needs an FPU. It won't work without an FPU at all. You can try Doom in a minute though. You can see that runs silky smooth though, which is what you'd expect really for an 060. Someone told me something about this actually. If you go into the disk image. We can try that in a minute. If you go into the disk image and just launch the executable rather than the WHD load thing, apparently it runs faster. It makes, I don't know, it's not bottlenecked or something. Let's just try that. I'm not sure you can actually. No, you can't because we've only got the one icon. So I'm not sure what the person was talking about. The interesting thing is there's no other files, is there? Mind you, hang on, we're not seeing everything, we're only going to see icons. Let's just do view all. Fonzu, wish you all a happy new year, thank you. Beeps, I remember when Amiga ruled, going into a computer shop and seeing Archimedes and their Dr. Livingston, I presume, running, and then saying it's an Amiga killer. Yeah, I think it could have been. Let's just go into there. Game. Let's just try and run that. Okay, see what happens. Well, there you go. You learn something every day. We've got weird colours. That's what happens when you don't use the slave. He's probably not putting the graphics mode in a correct mode or something, perhaps because it's an AGA. If you run that on a 400 directly like that, it might not do that. Anyway, let's just leave that on a second. I'm curious to see if the speed of it is any different. Nigel Solos, hey, Happy New Year all. Yep, Happy New Year all. Hoping you all have a good time over the remainder of the Christmas holiday. I know some people have gone back to work for a day or two, but thankfully I'm not having to do that this year. The office is shut for 2 weeks, so it's good having a nice long break actually over Christmas. Mighty CD32 is in desperate need of a recap, and I think the lid mechanism has a spring missing. Yeah, I think you can lose the spring off those. There's a little piece of plastic breaks off sometimes on the hinge as well on the CD32 lids. I've got a full cap kit here actually from, I can't remember the name of the place now, but you'll see it in the video because I'll be doing a recap of my 1200 and a recap of my CD32, and I was kindly donated a couple of cap kits, one for each system, so I'll be doing that over the next month or two. I need to get through, well, get this out of the way and get the Archimedes out of the way as well. Is that any faster? I mean, obviously the colours are messed up totally, but it looks just the same to me. Anyway, let's come out of that. Let's try and do. I can press the right key. How do you get out of it? Oh, I can't. It's not in WHD load now. That's one of the niceties when you run something in WHD load. You have a key to exit, which incidentally does not work if you've just got a straight 68000. You need a 68010 at least in order to use the, press a key to get out of the game kind of thing. Peter Mulholland, save your money on cap kits, just buy them from Farnell in strips. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But like I say, on this occasion though, I've had a kind donation of those cap kits, so it's not too much of a problem for me at the moment with that. Real Phoenix, hello Real Phoenix, nice French guy, does lots of videos on cool things. He's done lots of stuff on arcade sticks and stuff recently, modifying and hacking various really nice actually arcade sticks, things that are designed for the PS3 and PS4, and done all sorts of mods to those. But he's done all sorts of bits in the past, like creating the ROM adapters there for SNES carts and things, so you can use a more modern device on one of the ones that uses the Super FX chipset, etc. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So let me find Doom, and then we'll get on with the draw. It's not going to take a minute, hopefully. I just hope it doesn't crash before then. In fact, I think if we close that, I think Doom is in a different folder on here. It's on the work folder, I think. See, Quake's in there, but Quake won't work because Quake needs an 060 with an FPU. I could have sworn Doom was in there before, but it doesn't appear to be. Unless I'm going blind, let's close that, let's look in the other one. Let's try D. I am sure I played Doom on here before. Scroll along. It might be a Doom. Let's just do a show on that. No, it's not there, is it? View. Sort. Sorry, I'm concentrating super hard trying to focus where I'm going here. You could probably just type the name of it. It might highlight it. I don't know how the OS works there on the Amiga, but if it's going to be in here, it'd be AD, wouldn't it? It's going to be right back over here. See, I'm not sure if this is just like a WHD load set, and if it is, I don't think Doom is part of WHD load. Do you know, I could have sworn it was on here. Let's just try Games 1. There it is, there we go. I knew it was on here, my memory is not failing me. So let's give that a try. Catch up with comments again. Ordered a 3.1 ROM for my 500 today. That should be all my TF330 needs now. Yeah, the TF330 is fantastic, it really is. I love my 534. Never ever twist the caps off or cut them off. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The best way to remove it is with hot air. I think somebody removed one or two on this board actually previously by twisting them because, well, certainly one of them, because one of them, the pads were just literally hanging on when I use hot air to remove the cap. SMD caps have very thin legs, so the risk isn't that big when you twist them. Yeah, you've got two different perspectives there. That's true, but the problem, and it depends on how corroded the pads are. This is the thing: if the pads are super corroded, you will lose the pads. If the pads aren't super corroded, the pads will probably withstand, and the legs will break because it's going to be it's the weakest point. The weakest point is the thing that's going to break. But when you've got loads of corrosion on the board, the weakest point is going to be the pads. It's not going to be the legs. So it's just one of those. It's up to you at the end of the day. It's when you get into that scenario, I like to think of it as a 50-50. It's going to be, if you do it really carefully and twist them, it's a 50-50. You might be really lucky and get through all the caps and not break any pads. But if you use hot air, generally you won't lose any pads. But then again, the pads might still be a bit loose anyway, even after you remove them with hot air. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but hot air is the better way to do it. If you've got hot air, use hot air. And I think even if you haven't got hot air, I'd be tempted to not twist them probably. I'd use a bit of desolder braid, a bit of flux. Try and get the solder off there, and then heat one side, lift it a little bit, heat the other side until it comes off. That might be a little bit safer, but even still, there's a risk with that of lifting pads. Let's catch up. Thomas Andrews, Mr. Carlson's lab does it. Yes, he does. You know, I've made this point before. People who are in the industry, if you're repairing hundreds of boards, I can't even speak, hundreds of boards of the same type, and all you're doing is replacing the caps on every one, you go, how can I do this quicker? I am so sick of spending X amount of time with the hot air removing these caps. Let's start this if we can. Removing the caps when I could just twist them off and it takes a few seconds. And that's the thing, so you start to develop quick, bad techniques, if you like, of saving yourself time. Time equals money, doesn't it, when you're in the trade? So you can see how smooth that runs, hopefully. I'm not sure whether the capture of the stream is going to keep up with it. It might look really jerky. To me here, it looks super fluid. It's ridiculously smooth. You've got to use joystick and mouse, actually, the way this is configured. I'm not even sure you open the door, probably use the keyboard as well, have I? Hang on. Is it the right button? I'm not sure. And there's no sound either, I've just noticed. Oh yeah, there is. It's super quiet. You don't get music, do you? Why has the menu come up there? What on earth is going on here? That was weird. Like the menu came up on its own. I think it's probably because of the latency on the stream. I pressed the escape key and then went back to the screen, and it took about 2 seconds to come back up, but I can't hear gunshots there. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. So as you can see, super fast on here. What's the button for that door? Oh. Yeah, it's the space bar, isn't it? It's annoying, the keyboard's right down here, so it's like I've got to use the mouse, the space bar and the joystick. Who came up with that idea? It's not the easiest control scheme. Oh, down to the space bar again. Oh, hang on, closed it. I could do it putting the keyboard on the floor there and then using my foot to do the space bar. Oh. Anyway, you get the idea. That works really well. Super fast. Makes me want an 060. So I'll just catch up with comments and then we'll do the draw, and then I'm going to have to get off. Perhaps I can get my tea, I think, unless anyone's got any questions or anything. I could answer questions while I'm here. File 1976 buyed the TF330, bought, I think it means, after I saw a video from your TF328. Well, thank you. I'm glad it's helped you make you make your mind up there about what to go for. The 328 is nice, but also the 330 is fantastic. Which someone's going to win tonight. One of the people that answered the questions. Well, I forgot what I asked. What the criteria was now. I think one of them was which one of my videos ended with Portal music. I think the other one was post a comment on Stephen's video, which all the people did, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got a list of them. How do you get out of this now? What? Escape. Yep. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Won't let me quit. It's latency. Latency from hell. Which kind of fits the theme of the game, doesn't it? My power cycle is far easier than dealing with latency. Bocca's retro stuff. Best computer I've ever used. Yep, the Amiga 4000. I think it's fantastic. I wish I could afford one of these. I wish I didn't have to go back. I'm tempted to just, I'm going to joke. I was going to say, I'm not sending it back. It's mine. You're not having it. I'm going to keep it. It's mine. But yeah, my conscience, my conscience would not allow that at all. So it's got to go back to cathers. let's just start something else just for a bit of background music, and then I will go away and do the draw, I think. Draws, view. I'm not used to this version of Workbench actually. It's like classic Workbench, isn't it? I think it's got some weird things with the drop downs and things that I'm just not used to, the way it lays them out. Project XSE, there we go, let's load that. Get some nice music going there. Steve, at Steve Man, in the A1200 there's an issue with some boards depending on the video which video deck is fitted. On A600 the problem with noise on the video composite is used. Yeah, it's interesting how each one of the Amiga systems has got, you know, generally something minor that needs to be fixed. In fact, someone pointed out in the last video, this 4000, the audio sockets, they're all around. It's not something I was aware of, the red and the white. Apparently, the guy was saying, you know, you should swap them around. I haven't done that. I fitted them back on the way they came off, so it's just kind of stock. I might ask Cathers if he's bothered by that, if he's bothered about being stock. And of course, the other thing with the 4000, some of them, I'll just turn that music down because it looks a little bit loud compared to my voice. Some of them have got the capacitors, the audio capacitors around the wrong way, haven't they? Because they're polarised, you know, it's important which way only get the positive and the negative, and they came from the factory on some of the 4000s the wrong way. Might be the cost reduced version, I don't know, because the interesting thing is with this one, I looked on the silk screen and I fitted them according to the marking on the silk screen, and then afterwards I thought, oh no, the caps, they could be around the wrong way, the audio caps. And I checked it, continuity on the meter, and the negative side is going to the output, you know, it's going to the connectors there via a ferrite bead or something. Anyway, nevertheless, it's okay I think on this board. So we'll go over to the draw now. I think I just need to enable display capture. I think it's going to go weird while I just toggle over here. And if we go to random.org, in fact, we'll just go back to the video, switch off the capture, just give me a sec. I'll put the list up. There you go, there's the list. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just wait until I see it in the comments. Just let me know in the comments, can you see the names there? So we've got number 1, James Wild. These are I did this 2 weeks after I put the video up, because I did say in that video that within 2 weeks, that was when I was going to do the draw. So anybody who's put their name on there since, sorry, but you're not going to be included, because I did say on the video it would be the first 2 weeks. After 2 weeks I would announce a winner. So this is the list after that first 2 weeks. Please someone just let me know, can you see that list? I appreciate we're running behind a little bit because of latency, so it could be a minute or two before you guys get what I'm saying there in order to do that and react. I love the music on this game. Team 17 produced some fantastic games, they really did. The music on this in particular was created by Bjorn Lin. I'm quite familiar with his music because he did quite a lot in the Amiga scene back then. I think he's a Swedish chap. But also he produces music that you can purchase and stuff. You know, you can get like a commercial license. And I was developing an RPG, which I'll show you in another video at some point, called Futurescape. If you think of Diablo, it's kind of like isometric from above like that, but it was future post-apocalypse based game. I created the entire MMORPG engine for it, and it was kind of scalable. You could have each map hosted by a different executable that would run on a different server, so you could, you know, have a cluster of servers and connect them all up, and you could and it also had a distribution model on the messaging system there, and it was really complex actually, but I learned some really nice things by producing that. And the music for that, I used Bjorn Lin's music. Actually, I was going to license it, so I actually bought the CD of the tracks that I actually used in the game, and we were going to get a commercial license, but it never happened. We never finished it off. The big problem with that is I needed a team of graphics artists, 3D people who could do 3D rendering, like in Lightwave or 3D Studio. You know, I nearly said Autodesk then, but you know, Lightwave. Think of Lightwave and 3D models. I needed somebody who could take a 3D model, set cameras up at 45-degree perimeter around it at the right places, and render, you know, animation and do all that sort of stuff. What was it written in? Delphi. The whole thing was written in Delphi. I used Direct Draw for most of it, because it was what it was doing is taking the graphics, you know, the images for the individual frames, and putting them from my own sprite handling routine that would compress them all. It would use like a form of run length encoding to compress them super small. It's like only using 16-bit quality images back then, because that was quite common then. 16-bit was a standard before everything went totally RGB, went 24-bit or 32-bit. But yeah, so for the code behind it was all Delphi. I wrote all the server and client. There were a number of servers, as you can imagine, one for messages, one for logins, one for the map, you know, handling player positions on a map, and there was one for something else, I can't remember, logging, server logging. It was, if you played the Legend of Mir 2, a lot of what I learned about the Legend of Mir 2 was applied to that, actually. You know, the logistics behind it. The code, not so much, because it's a long story. I'll do a video on Legend of Mir 2 as well, because I was one of a number of people that got access to the source code of that. Hackers actually got hold of the source code for that game, and it was distributed all over the place on forums. You could download it, and that was my first exposure to see how an MMORPG was created, how it worked. Funnily enough, that was written in Delphi as well, and that was one of the reasons I became interested in it, and also the reason why someone pointed me towards it. A bunch of hackers said, look, we've got this code, do you want to have a look at it? And I was like, well, yeah, I don't agree with your ethics of taking it, but I'm quite happy to have a look at it. But by that time it was everywhere. They'd distributed it all over the place. It was just on FTP servers where you could just download it. Anyway, that's a subject for another video. So yeah, you can see the names there. We'll just jump straight to the draw now, so I'll swap back over to the direct capture. So 1 to 15, hang on, put the wrong blooming window up now. 1 to 15, so as you can see here, and I'll just retype these, 1, 15. So it will generate a number between 1 and 15 inclusive, and fingers crossed, who's it going to be? Number 9. I'm not sure who number 9 is. Let's just go back here, switch off the capture. Number 9 is Alan Gulliver. Congratulations, Alan Gulliver, you've just won the Terrible Fire TF330. I'd like to show you what it looks like, but it needs cleaning. It's been sat in the box ready for this draw for, what is it, must be 3 months now. So yeah, I'll clean it up for you. I'll test it before I send it. You will need to contact me somehow. I'm trying to think. You can send me a message on Patreon, because I think that works with you might need to create an account. You don't need to be a Patreon. You know, you don't need to be a Patreon. You don't need to fund me or anything like that. But contact me on Patreon or Twitter, or you could just send me a message in the comments or something somewhere on one of my videos. You know, even maybe just include your email, and I'll get it. You know, delete that message and then respond to you. And you just need to send me your postal details so I can send that off to you. Congratulations, though. Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm glad that I finally got around to be able to do this video. So I'm not going to stray on for much longer, because I'm pretty tired. I want to get something to eat. If you've got any other questions, now is the time. I'll just have a quick look back through the messages to see if I've missed anything. And then I will go and get my tea and perhaps watch a movie. I think I'm going to watch something Christmas. I'm going to watch Scrooge. I've got Scrooge on DVD. I might go watch that. It's ages since I've seen that. Or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. In fact, I decided that's what I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch that. I've got some more Stollen. I've got tons of Stollen here. I went crazy. It was on special offer, so I bought like 3 boxes of it. So whilst I'm here, obviously I'd like to say special thanks to everybody who's subscribed to me, and anybody who's commented, Patreons, all of the help and tips and things that I've had with, you know, with regards to my redundancy. I had so much support from everybody. It's just amazing. I walked away from this in such a positive way, and that could have only been done with all of your help. Everybody's, you know, no matter how small the help that you think you've given me, it might just be a comment, it might have just been a, you know, hope you sort this, I've been in this situation, I hope you sort it out, don't worry about it, you'll come out the other end. And there were lots of comments like that, lots of people who've been in that situation. I'm sure there's probably people out there now who've suffered redundancy, you know, at some point this year or last year, and still redundant. All I can say to you is reach out to your friends and family, and you know, and just keep positive. You will find a solution. People will help you. It's not the end of the world. That's all I can say really, is that life has a funny way of helping you get back on the right track. Sometimes it can take a while, sometimes it's not straightforward, sometimes, like I've been really lucky here, 2 months down the line I'm in a much better position than I was, and a better position than I've ever been, because I've got now 3 whole days a week that I can actually do more for you. I can do more repairs, I can focus on what I enjoy doing, which is repairing stuff and upgrading systems and things, and trying, you know, get these systems back to good health. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for all the donations. Thanks Mike Simcox and all the other people that have donated small amounts within this video and large amounts. It's super appreciated. In fact, the money that's been donated now, I can get myself a game. That's really brilliant. So I will have a look. I'll have a look what I can get. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good Christmas and a happy New Year. Catch you in the next one.